were the origins of the largest arrivals in the islands. We have three major inhabitants of the Philippines. Some of them were the Negritos, or Pygmies, the Malays, and the Indonesians. The culture in the 5th century AD was influenced by India, China, and the Middle East. The 14th century saw the spread of Islam throughout the southern parts. The 15th century also brought trade with merchants from the Chinese Ming dynasty. Then on March 16, 1521, Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese navigator for Spain, discovered the Philippines. So in 1521, the Philippines was discovered by Magellan, who was a Portuguese navigator with Spain. The Spanish rule lasted for 400 years. In 1896, Jose Rizal, a Filipino doctor who was educated in Spain, founded a secret league called the Philippine League, which criticized Spanish rule. As a result of his execution in December 30th, 1898, the Philippines started a revolt against Spanish rule. The Philippine revolt was initially successful, but with Spanish reinforcement, the revolution forces were weakened. Then in April 1898, the Spanish-American War started. The Americans won and helped Aguinaldo, who was the chief of the rebel forces, return from exile in Hong Kong. On June 12, 1898, June 12, 1898, the Filipinos declared independence from Spanish rule. This independence was short-lived. 6 months later, on December 10, 1898, under the Treaty of Paris, Spain gave the Philippines to the U.S. for $20 million. So we were independent for 6 months. The U.S. established military rule, which was replaced by the U.S. civil government in 1990. The girls needed to change their clothes. What they're wearing is Filipino national dress, but this is also the Filipino national dress. Until today, I didn't know what the difference was, but Tambi just educated me. She said that what they wore is the Filipino dress of the common people. This is the national Filipino dress of the city slickers, who are stiffer and didn't have as much fun as they did. So if you want to wait a little while, they will definitely, just the shortest possible time. By the way, I have a special guest, my pride and joy, my eldest daughter, Meg. Meg, can you show your face?
Yes, see together pretty close.
I want to add something. I blame this girl for making me a grandmother 3 times over.
Not much blame. She gets excited. I was talking to her on the phone, the last child. We were talking on the phone. We had been talking about an hour and a half, and we said, well, we better get off the phone. Then all of a sudden she said, Meg's in labor, bye. Rushed out because Meg had gotten her on the other phone. We're happy to have you here. Meg doesn't live here, do you? Still in Hawaii? Nope. And are you located where you? Here? Wonderful. Good. Good. It's hard to keep track of them all the kids. Bambi and Florenda went shopping for that material. Did you make them? Someone made their dresses that they're wearing, all the kids. We call them kids because Bambi's 23 and 40 and 47. So they got the material and they made them all last week. Or 2 weeks ago. The red skirts and the tops and things like that. It's a total of 300,000 square kilometers. 298,000 is land and 1,830 is the water. We have about 7,100 islands. It's more or less 7,100 islands depending on the tide. When the tide rises, we have less islands. When the tide goes down, we have only 11 of the islands are inhabited. Most of them are so small, they look like turtle backs. The Philippine island is volcanic in origin and is generally mountainous. We have 20 active volcanoes, which is why I'm in California. And earthquakes are pretty common, which is the second reason that I'm in California. If you think you have it bad here, try the Philippines. The mean annual temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity is 77%. We only have 2 seasons,
The wet or the rainy season is from May to November, which is the summer monsoon. The dry season is from December to April. The rainiest months are June to October, and the annual rainfall is about 80 inches a year. Filipino is the official language spoken by 55% of Filipinos. So even the national language is spoken by only 55% of the people. We have about 111 more languages in dialects, but only 10 are important regionally. English is used for educational, governmental, and commercial purposes, and it is the medium of instruction in schools. The Philippines is the third, would you believe this? The third largest group of English-speaking people in the world, next to the US and the United Kingdom. Everyday conversation is Taglish. Taglish is a combination, a mixture of English and Filipino. Because sometimes I speak Filipino, I cannot express everything in Filipino, so I throw in a little bit of English. Sometimes they speak English and they cannot really completely speak English, and they throw in one or two phrases in Filipino. So it's called Taglish, which is now also the unofficial, official everyday conversation language. 84% of the population is Catholic, 10% is Protestant, and 4% are Muslims. Filipinos. Filipino originally referred to Spanish people, the Spaniards who were born in the Philippines. But in the 18th century, it referred to the Christianized Malays, is the bulk of the population. The chief non-Malay groups are the Spanish and the Chinese descent.
Country, this mind is terrific. We don't let her know because she's got a lot of people. But anyway, you got to keep talking and they're not ready.
Do you have any more questions? Okay.
Ididikit mo sa katawan para hindi magalaw. Ano yan? Para hindi magalaw.
You know, today, I don't know. I've been here for 8 years, and since I left, I completely turned my back. My father was the only one left there because he wanted to be in politics. Imagine a 77-year-old man who wants to be in politics under a deposed president. So after I left the Philippines, I never bothered. So my memory of the Philippines stopped 8 years ago when I moved to America. But when I was there, normally it's agriculture. We have a lot of natural resources, which are the Filipinos. Okay, the bulk of the Filipinos are actually Malay, but there are Spanish. The Spanish are called aristocrats. The Spaniards are still called aristocrats. We have what we call the Filipino mentality, which a colonial mentality, which is at one point, if you speak Filipino, you must be low class. So in school, we spoke either English or Spanish until I came to California, where I learned to speak the Filipino language because
Mrs. Aquino was following Mr. Fernando and Imelda. Mrs. Aquino was also
the Philippines has 4% Muslims, and to me at one point Muslim was the bad word. Until I discovered that the Muslims are actually two groups, the Moros, which are holding some Americans hostage, and the Samoans. And I guess they are dancing the Samo Muslim dance.
Wait na yan.
Ahora here's a salsa number.